Terima kasih.
Minta maaf lah.
First time nak buat.
Okay, this is our first time. So, Assalamualaikum again.
Alaikum salam again. Sorry for about me. Today in France, it was the Mother Day. I was with my mother, you know. It's the reason why I am late. Sorry. Everybody listen me? It's okay?
Yeah. I think everybody is listening.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, very good. So first of all, again, I wish Selamat Hari Raya. Salam Aidul Fitri.
Eid al-Fitr Mubarak to everybody. Inshallah. Still, now 2 weeks. It's finished.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
In Malaysia, the tradition is always 1 month.
Okay, I will come to my 1 month. We do nothing. 1 month holiday.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. So, did you see all the people, all our members?
Yes. All the people. Not everybody have a Facebook. It's the reason why. But I share it. You know, we talk about this live yesterday. We don't have the time to prevent everybody. Still in France, we are in lockdown actually, and we are not training. We are not really training because it's still forbidden until the 22 June. Until the 22 June, we can. The Galangan will open again, but still no contact in the training. We cannot make beladiri. We cannot make a lot of techniques. We can do lanka. We can do jurus. That's all.
Yeah, it's also the same in Malaysia.
Lanka, jurus, finish.
Yeah, the school is still closed. So the training session still not been allowed by the government. So we don't allow together.
But in France, the school are open because they want the people going to work. They open the school, you know, for the children to go to school, or the people and the parents go to work. It's the reason why. But
In Paris?
yeah, in Paris, yeah. Everybody taking the subway, everybody taking the bus, but we are not the right to train. Still don't have. You see, the people
because
of
in Malaysia,
yeah.
Because in Malaysia, gathering is not allowed. When you want to be together with a friend, more than 10 people, so it's not allowed.
But here in France, they open the cafe, the restaurants. You know, the people cannot go inside, but outside they put the table on the chair, and you can see all the people gathering in the same place. You know, in the cafe, the restaurant. Because the business, you know, we were in a lockdown for 2 months, close to 3 months. And a lot of business going slow and going down. It's the reason why they open. Actually,
it's not only in Malaysia. It's all Paris. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. And actually, a lot of people thinking this pandemic is finished. You know, a lot of people thinking the pandemic. Here, especially in Paris, in France, people are living. Even they don't have the mask. They don't have face mask. You know.
Yeah. In Malaysia, it's obligatory.
Normally, in France too, it's obligatory. But the people don't want to follow. But actually, the real problem is we cannot train, we cannot show technique. I cannot make Lot of people saying me making lot of video in Facebook, but actually I cannot do this because I don't have opponent. I don't have partner to do this with me.
Yeah.
It's the first reason why we cannot do this kind of video. But we have a Facebook Live with you. We can chat with Sheguazi and learn more about Silat. It's interesting.
Inshallah.
It's interesting.
Okay. Today we do this conference because I want to share with all the students, all Malaysian Silat people. Okay. So please introduce yourself, Cikgu Emir.
I am Cikgu Emir.
Okay. How long you been doing Silat?
Yeah, I will come back more in my history. Maybe I am. My name is Emir. Sorry, it's the baby. Sorry, it's the baby. My name is Emir, and I have 42 years. I do Silat I practice Silat for more than 20 years, 22 years, I think. Before Silat, I do a lot of sports, like basketball, volleyball, but I do martial art sport like Viet Vo Dao and Muay Thai. And I begin my Silat journey at 19. I was 19 years old. And I begin my journey at this time. And how I came to Silat, because before I begin my Silat practice, I had a surgery, at my knee, my ligament surgery. I had a surgery about my ligament, knee ligament. And after education, after the education and after everything, it's all right. I searched about martial art, and I found one guy in Paris, a Silat master, who first he bring Indonesian Silat, and after he bring Gayung, and he brought Gayung Fatani. And the same year he brought Gayung Fatani in France. It was the same year I began Silat.
Okay. So in France there is a martial arts called Sabat.
Yeah, but like in Malaysia, you have Silat.
Yeah. Have you learned that Sabat?
No. Like in Malaysia, a lot of Malaysians don't practice Silat.
Yeah.
They practice karate. They practice everything. A lot of other martial arts, but don't want to practice Silat. In France, it's the same. We have kickboxing, we have Muay Thai, we have karate, kung fu. And at the time when I begin Silat, they don't have a lot of Silat lesson, Only because you have to come back to the history. At this time, not all the people practice Silat, not all the people knew about Silat. The people knew about karate, kung fu, Viet Vo Dao, lot of other martial arts, Sabat, American boxing, But
what makes Silat so unique?
Silat is so unique. It's one of the reasons why I try my first lesson of Silat. Because Silat, nobody have heard about Silat, what is Pencak Silat, and a lot of people, they didn't know to show in the cart, where is Malaysia, where is Indonesia, because it's so far, It's one of the first reasons why I choose Silat is because nobody have heard about it, It's still new in France at this time, Now you have a lot of movie and lot of people practicing Silat from the year 2000, you know. Some people now practice 5 years of Silat or 2 years of Silat. They're big, they come, they're instructor after 3 years of Silat.
Okay. How do you differentiate between Malaysian Silat and Indonesian Silat?
How? Sorry, the question?
How do you differentiate?
For me, the big difference between Indonesian and Silat and Malaysian Silat, it's about the langkah, you know? The langkah. You have langkah in Indonesian Silat, they called it the jurus, but it's not like the langkah we can find in peninsular Malay Silat. It's not the langkah I can find in Senegal Fatani knowledge, you know. It's one of the first difference we can see clearly, you know. The second difference, it's about the curriculum. The curriculum, you know.
Okay, to those who are watching, you can also throw some question to Cikgu Emir. You also can throw some question you can ask.
No problem. I can. If I can answer about the question, I can. If I cannot, if I don't have response, you have Cikgu Aziz. He can give you. Yes. To come back, it's about the curriculum, you know. The Indonesian, my way, about I talk about my experience and about how I practice. At this time, the guy who bringing Silat in Paris, he teach all the knowledge together, you know. He cannot make a difference between this, and lot of knowledge coming together, you know. And you have to, like a sponge, you know, you have to take it, or if you cannot take it, so it's finished. The knowledge you cannot improve. You cannot improve in it, you know.
That's why the curriculum is very important.
Yeah, and even in Senegal Fatani, the first curriculum, in first we don't have curriculum, lot of knowledge together. And after when the curriculum, of Senegal Fatani came, and you have step by step how to progress, level by level, how to come to the next level after the first level, second and third, you know, etc. This way of teaching, you know, was more how to say it, more rich,
systematic.
More rich, you know, because you understand you understand why you do this movement, how you do this movement, why you take this step, how you take this step, you know. It's the first is one of the big difference between the Malay Silat and the Indonesian Silat, what I practice. My practice, of course.
When did Silat start in Europe, especially in France?
In Europe, the Silat starts with 3 people, actually, in the late 70s and the beginning of the 80s, you know? You have...
because I heard Silat in Europe around started in 1940s in Switzerland.
In 1940s? Maybe
with Hatta Tahir.
Yeah, but you have Turpin too. You have Turpin. You know, you remember Turpin in Netherlands?
Yeah.
Turpin in Netherlands was one of the first Silat master in Europe.
Okay. I think it's better for you to use earphone.
Yeah, but I didn't find. I have iPhone. I didn't find the good one, you know, because the new iPhone. I have to share. Sorry, I have to share. I will.
Okay.
Because
there is one question, Cikgu Emir.
Yes.
From
I will finish my question, my answer about the guys, the beginning of Silat in Europe. You know.
Yeah.
You have at the beginning, you know, at the late 70s, on the beginning of the 80s, you have three people, you know. You have Turpin, Hanafi, Antoine Raban in Europe. Turpin was Netherlands, and Raban and Hanafi was in France, in Paris. And they're beginning to teach Silat, but not really with the perfect one, you know. It's a mix of lot of Silats, you know. Mix of
Okay, Cikgu Emil, one question.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, if I may, what makes you choose to be in Gayung Fatani instead of other Silat?
Like I said in the beginning, at this time you don't have a lot of Silats, you know. In France, you have.
What makes you choose to be in Gayung Fatani?
In France, you have Silat with the guy Raban. We brought Silat, Indonesian Silat, and after he bring Gayung, and after Gayung Fatani. And when he brought Gayung Fatani, it was my luck, you know. And I was very lucky because Gayung Fatani, you have a philosophy after, you know, and the Muslim philosophy is the more important for me, you know, in this Silat. And it's one of the reasons why I stay in Gayung Fatani. But like I said, at this time, you have only Gayung Fatani in Paris. I cannot go to Cekak or Linsha or, you know, for Malaysia or Gayung, even Gayung. They stopped Gayung. And you have Indonesian Silat like Setiati Terate or Setiati, but like it was in the beginning too, you know. It's not evolved like Gayung Fatani for me.
Okay, one more question, Cikgu Emil. Is it difficult to teach Silat in the community of France?
Is it difficult? I think it's difficult like in Malaysia. Because the students are always the students, you know. Nobody come to the Silat lesson and have the knowledge. You come, you come in the Gelangan with no knowledge generally, and you come to teach, to learn. Sorry, and you come to learn and to see how the things going, you know. And in France, you have, in Europe especially, the first Silat lesson beginning with adults, you know. You have to teach adults in France. Now, actually, we began to teach children, you know, the 10 last years. But before, when Silat came, only adults learning about Silat, you know. And you have to teach adults. It's one of the most difficulty, you know, in France to teach, because they are adults, they have life, they have children, they have a lot of things, they have jobs, not like about children, you know, about Pesilat Chilik, you know. It's not the same, you know. It's not the same things, not the same mind, you know. It's the most difficulty, you know. But actually, I teach with the curriculum. With the curriculum I saw, I teach it.
Okay, very good.
It's very easy for me to give
what is your achievement?
My achievement?
Your achievement? Yeah. What is your achievement as a pesilat? Achievement as a pendekar?
We do a lot of things actually. We do a lot of things actually in Silat. In Silat in France, I've now more than 20 years. I do a lot of show, you know. I do a lot of show, even in Malaysian embassy, in UNESCO, in wedding. I came to Malaysia making show, you know, in Titi Vangsa. I participate in Silat gathering in Europe, you know, in Austria, in Belgium. I send people to competition in Belgium, in Austria,
Indonesia.
in Malaysia. What say to we do a lot of interview in magazine, in French magazine, very famous magazine like Karate Bushido. And after we do a festival of martial art of Bercy, the very famous festival in martial art, about martial art in all the world, you know, where Count Chichep going, when Count Chichep making his demonstration, we do this. We participate. We have participated in French TV, French television, you know, a big reportage in France, Lima, you know, this reportage about
Lima.
France 5, France 5 in French. Reportage about Malaysia, and in this interview, they talk about you know, about the Silat. They talk with you. And the last thing, normally in 2020, you have to come to participate in the martial art festival in Bercy, but sadly, you know, this pandemic cut our projects, you know. And a lot of achievements actually I do for Silat, and I try to share about my passion, even in France, you know, lot of students, even they came for 1 year or 2 years, they came and they heard about Silat, about the tradition, about the Warisan. I try to give them adapt, you know, to explain to them,
how to
because
shake
they are not
salam.
Sorry?
How to do some adat.
How to comport the behavior, you know, of the people, because some of them, they are not Muslim, they are not born Muslim, they don't know about how to comport the people. They comport the, you know, the individualism. Only the people thinking is himself is the big, you know. It's not like this. It's not the way of life of Silat, of Pandekar, you know. Pandekar have to help the people to try to be gentle, like a Malay people, like the Malay.
Do you think it's a good time to boost Silat in France?
Silat, it's always good time to boost it, you know. Silat is for everybody, but I think not everybody can learn Silat, you know. If in your mind is not okay, if in your heart is not okay, it's normal, you cannot learn Silat. But Silat is for everybody. It's always the time to boost Silat. But the problem actually, it's people seeing Silat only in Beladiri. They don't see all the powerful of Silat, all the different dimensions of Silat, you know. You have Beladiri, okay, because Silat is art of war, but you have all the tradition, you know. But it's more difficult to teach for some people. But actually, lot of people becoming to the tradition, you know. They want, you know, the future, the modern time sometimes is not what the people need. You know, the people need some tradition, some real things. You know. Sorry.
Okay. From your experience.
Yes.
Silat is good for every age, or is only for adults?
Silat is good for every. Sorry, I took water. Sorry, I took Perrier. Silat is good for every age, you know. Of course, for the children, it's good because it's a safely practice with lot of knowledge. But you cannot teach them the beladiri because they are children.
Yeah.
You have only to teach them how to kick, how to pukul, you know, make sepak, pukul, the step, you know, how to do the lanka, all the art, of course, for the children. But for the adults, you can teach them the beladiri, you know, but not all the kind of beladiri. You don't show them how to crush the neck of the people with your knee, you know, actually. It's not the good things.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
a
the
wrongdoing.
policemen do in America. We are not teaching this in the beginning.
It's a wrongdoing.
But some people want to teach, to show this because this is the only knowledge they have, I think. You know, the only knowledge they have is to crush the neck of the people with uni. But the Silat is more rich, you know.
Yeah. That's why in Silat we have the adat and adab. Also, we have the akhlaq.
Yeah.
Akhlaq is
Patani akhlaq pendaka, you know.
Yeah.
But it's normal because we are not the same philosophy. We are other people. We are. If you have something in your heart, you know, it's not like you seeing the TV and you thinking everything it's about money, about this, about that. No, we are not thinking like this. Actually, we are Silat Pendaka. We are here for people, and we are not here for money or for the show or for the fame or for. Sometimes people thinking we are here for fame or it's only jealousy. We are making our thing. It's only this, you know, and we try to give this knowledge, you know. And sometimes looking in France, you know, you try to find the silat, but the silat is not only about tanding, you know.
Okay, Cikgu Emir. We have another 1 minute.
Okay.
Inshallah. Next time we will focus more on our subject.
I want to finish about Silat is not about tanding.
Yes.
It's not only about tanding. It's not only Olaraga. Silat is more powerful than that, you know. But people don't want to understand, don't want to show because maybe they have only this knowledge. I think that's all.
Super. So that's why we, as a Silat practitioner, so this is the conclusion that you made. Silat is not about competition. It's more than that.
It's more than that. It's to help people. It's not for me to win the competition. It's only for my ego. I am a champion. My ego is good because I won the competition. But Silat is not for that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's more than that.
Antua, I didn't have this kind. I don't think Antua have this kind of thing. No, I am the best. I am. No, he helped the people. You know. And
always to be humble
the president
serve
of the big master
the people.
Fatani want to help people.
Yes, correct. Okay, Cikgu Emir. So all the best to you and stay safe.
Me too.
Okay, inshallah we will.
Thank you, Shegu. Thank you. Inshallah, we will do more long the next time.
Yeah. We have only 30 minutes.
Sorry.
Okay, we only have 30 minutes for our discussion.
Okay.
Our because hello, Saba.
Hello,
Jasmine. Okay.
Sorry, she makes sound to make crying.
Cikgu Emir is our international senior master in France, my ISSSGFO representative. Okay, the one that is responsible on development Seni Gayung Fatani International.
In Paris.
So we hope in Paris. So we hope all the best to Cikgu Emir. So
maybe the people want to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the Eiffel Tower there. You can see the Eiffel Tower.
It's Paris.
Yeah, that's Paris, inshallah. Next
Allez,
year,
faites ça
if
ouvert.
everything goes down.
Ok, Inch'Allah.
Inshallah. Okay,
Inch'Allah.
Cik Kevin,
Jumpa
all the
lagi.
best. Jumpa lagi.
Jumpa lagi.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Salam,
Okay.
salam everybody.
Au revoir, au revoir,
Au revoir, au revoir. À bientôt.
À
Jumpa lagi.
bientôt. Jumpa lagi.